As it was prophesied, booster boxes are going up incredibly high in value. Cases are going for over 1,000, but that also means that singles are dropping like hotcakes. Let's check the market really fast. So at a quick glance, boosters are about to hit $5 on average per booster. This will easily drop once we see a restock, but until we see that restock, this will realistically get higher and higher. And unfortunately, as people continue to do rip and ships, which I'm not complaining, I'm not saying they're doing a bad thing, right? I'm just saying, unfortunately, as people need more packs, as people continue to do what they're doing, whether it's collecting, rip and ships, or whatever the case may be, this is only going to continue to slowly go up. And you can see that chart in TCG Player. It is beginning to plateau a little bit as product begins to dwindle. There's no way this keeps up. It's just gonna go up. ETBs, they're shooting up a little bit over MSRP right now. A lot of people have mixed emotions on them due to the value of what you can pull. Some people are saying you just don't hit too well with ETBs. Other people are just not buying into them as much right now because of the fact that realistically they're a lot harder to store. So when it comes to your investor or your flipper, whatever the case may be, people are trying to not have to give up so much time for something that they're not really sure how long it's going to take to move. This might be an opportunity for some people that are willing to pay a little overpriced. The reason why I mention that is because I think that if booster boxes get just too expensive, and we'll talk about those in a second, then people might think, hey, you know what, this is a good time to start switching over. And so, for people that are trying to buy it at MSRP or at a reasonable price, this might be your last chance before it kind of follows a trend of booster boxes or cases, right? Because eventually something's gonna give, and either people are gonna get priced out or it's just people are gonna give up, one of the two. And if people decide priced out but they still want Surging Sparks, this is what they'll go to next. Damn, this is expensive. I cannot imagine the fact that a booster box that literally just came out a little over a week ago, and I know you've been able to buy it in multiple places, but the official release was about a week ago, already hitting this much is pretty goddamn insane. Do you? If you got the money, go ahead, buy into it. I think for me, I wouldn't buy it. Right now, I'm selling these at about under 160, but even if that was the case and I sold out, unless I got them for a deal, you won't see me buying any more because I ain't trying to reach up to this price. I'm not gonna go that high, and I'm also not willing to try and bargain with people just so I can push this number. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Keep in mind too, I'm speaking more so as people that are trying to buy this stuff, right? And because I'm not an investor, bro. I don't really buy a ton of these. I'm not at a point right now where I make enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep a case of this sealed away. So for me, my stance is I just wouldn't buy them at this price. But if you got that fun money, if you got that buku money, if you just don't care, or if you're still chasing that Pikachu, I know that some people would probably tell you if this continues to go up, then it's worth it. And of course, there's always that argument, right, that all booster boxes always go up in price, right, as long as you seal them up and take care of them. So there's always that argument too, where if you're gonna buy these because you're not sure what's gonna happen in the future, and maybe they never reprint this set, then of course some people are just gonna be like, hey, you know what, this might be my only shot. And if they're really gonna hold on to it long term, then yeah, of course, eventually this is going to outdo, even if there is a restock of whatever sort. And even then, most real investors, guess what? They would say, okay, well, I bought it at 189, but now's my chance to buy it at 130, and they're going to buy it all the way back up again anyways. So it doesn't matter. That's why I say I speak more so for the non-investor side of things. Ah, shit. Damn, man. I'm going to say the same thing I said a second ago. I'm not even going to say it. Same as booster boxes. You got the money. If you don't care, if you're going to invest long term, sure. And if you're unsure of what's going to happen to the set, sure, do you. But that's a lot. If anything, that's got to be a record, right? Like, that's got to be the fastest growing case upon release to have ever happened. I can't think of it. And to think that people are already speculating that Prismatic Evolution is going to be worse. I'm not sure about that because I can't really say. I just think it's weird, or I would think it's weird, that Prismatic Evolutions, which is, I would just think it's weird for Terastel Festival, which is probably going to get printed very heavily in Japan, wouldn't have the same level of printing for the English variation in over here in English, or I would just think it's crazy to think that they wouldn't do the same thing for the English variation. Could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure I will be proven wrong. I don't know what the future holds. It's just crazy to think that for the next set, it's hard to find anywhere unless you're going to certain locations, you have deals. You're better off just trying to prepare for the next set at this rate, or just picking up whatever you can, whatever deals you can find at this rate. And I wanted to talk about the singles real quick because obviously since people are buying so much, a lot of people are opening so much, ribbon ships, every variation of every kind, your normal player, your competitive player, your collectors, everybody and their mom's opening this stuff right now, right? So a lot of cards are dropping in value. That is with the exception of the Pikachu, because anytime it seems to hit under $500, it gets bought out pretty quickly. You can see anytime it goes under $5, someone's gonna buy it. It just doesn't really sit there very long, and then the 500s sit for a cool minute, right? Because you can kind of see a little bit of chain, you know, under 500, under 500, under 500, and then we see the rest are about or at 500. So a lot of people are kind of hesitant, you know. There's a lot of people that seem to be unsure if they're willing to go over that $500 mark. And to me, if there's really market manipulation or buyout, eventually that's just going to make it so the people that are buying into this, once the next set comes out, they're going to eat their unfortunate mistake. But whatever, you know, I could be wrong. Could just be that people just don't have $500 to keep spending over and over again, so that's why it's slowly being sold off. But you know, to each their own. Everybody has their own opinion. But look, when we look at the other singles, doesn't matter how rare they are, they're all still having the same effect, right? Milotic EX is slowly going down over time as well, and this is something that for me is awesome because I want this card. I will buy this card. But once it hits under 70, it's going to go into my cart, guaranteed. This is the exact effect that I'm talking. So many people are buying things, and so right now the only three that are really just maintaining price is this Pikachu, which we've already talked about, Latias EX, which, you know, is no surprise. It's been really hard for a lot of people to pull, and you know, just people like this card, so of course it's got some value behind it. And then of course the other Pikachu, which I'm a little surprised. I don't really know what's going on with this card because everybody's so focused on the special illustration rare that, you know, I don't really hear too much talk about this one, but I'm sure people want every variation of the Pikachu. So damn, like this set is just, I feel bad for anybody who's trying to master this set, right? But whatever. Going back to this real quick, just focusing on those three are the only ones that I really see staying above or maintaining that price spike. Everybody else is falling. So that's kind of bringing me back. Another card that I've been looking at is Lucia's Appeal. I think this card looks good. I think it looks better in person, and I also just have a little bit of passion or love for Altaria and Swablu because, yeah, Swabloon and Altaria had a lot to do with my pre-release win, and so it kind of brings me a little bit more as to why I just like that Pokemon. It's a pretty Pokemon. I think it's cool. Again, when I went to my LGS, over $140, and now look, I can literally pick it off discounted. It's practically at half price. Of course, there's other reasoning why, because trading cards never seem to really maintain that value. I remember when Carmine was coming out and there was all this talk about how amazing and how good this card looks, and it's obviously nowhere near what it is now in value, and people forgot about that card so fast. But this card, you know, I don't remember seeing a lot of hype for it. Everybody was more so focused on the Pikachu, and that hasn't really changed. So for me, not too surprised to see this trainer card kind of just follow suit and just go down in price. Wouldn't be surprised, very honestly, if I see this at a $50 card by the end of the year. And unfortunately for Latios, the other half, he's not doing so hot either, because he was a $52 card, as you can see, pretty high up. The price drop isn't as severe. He's obviously still a little bit more rare and just a little bit more popular as a Pokemon, so he is still kind of dropping, but just it's a more so, if you look at the chart, it's a little bit more of like a slow decline, and there's still kind of little instances where it holds that price and then it continues to drop as more people continue to open this stuff, right? But another example of just the singles are just going down so fast. They're just not holding. It's insane. And you all remember this card? I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but when this card was shown, I thought this was going to be the chase card. I thought that everybody and their moms was going to want this card because it's so good looking. It's beautiful. I know when I was opening Supercharged Breakers, I thought, man, if I get this one, now that would be the nuts. Because I got the Latios EX in the Japanese variation, but this is the one that I was kind of really hoping for. I did get the other variation of Jasmine's Gaze, but whatever, enough about me. This card I thought was going to be worth so much more, and it seems like a lot of people did as well, because look at this price, $85. Dude, this is about to hit a third of its value. Talk about discounted. It also probably has something to do with the fact that really it's not, I've not seen anybody play this in any standard deck right now, so probably also doesn't help that it doesn't have a lot of playability. But damn, you know, sometimes not having playability doesn't always correlate to price value, because, you know, whatever, people just like really beautiful cards at times, right? We've seen that that's not always the case, but damn, to be 1/3 of the price already, that's a steal. And I just wanted to talk about this card because I'm gonna grab it real quick, because this card's ugly anyways, right? Like, but I'm thinking of playing a Milotic deck for sure, as I slowly always hesitate to get back into playing. The pre-release was fun, and I just think this is a nice, if I'm gonna play an ugly Phoebus, I think this is the one I'd rather play, but I don't think it's the most optimal one to play. But I just, if it is, but who cares? I just want it. Easy. Getting two right there. Right now, it's free real estate for anybody that's trying to get their hands on singles. The only other thing is, I would say be very careful for anybody that's buying singles and trying to flip them. If that's your goal when it comes to this set, I wouldn't be. Really, in my eyes, if you're trying to do anything with this set other than store it away, collect it, or hoping that you get the Pikachu EX, outside of opening it for fun, I'm not really sure what you're expecting in return anytime soon. Now, if you're long term, you're probably going to get what you're expecting. When I say that long term, I mean like 5-10 years from now. But outside of that, good luck to everybody else. I hope that, you know, you don't over leverage, don't buy things you can't afford, especially with the holidays coming up. I know that I love opening up Pokemon cards. I know that I like collecting Pokemon cards, but I also know that I have a family and kids to feed, so I just, you know, I would hate for anybody else to kind of not be able to enjoy their holiday season. But as usual, do your thing responsibly, guys. Check out the shop. I'll link it like I always do. I talk to you later. Love you, bye. Love you. Love you, bye.